8 skiers are dead. One is still missing. This is a breaking news update. Coming up, you'll hear the desperate rescue efforts, the extreme conditions that turned a 3-day trek into a tragedy, and why this is the deadliest avalanche in the United States in over 4 decades. The scene is the Castle Peak area near Lake Tahoe, California. A group of 15 skiers was caught in a massive avalanche during a brutal winter storm. 6 survivors were found Tuesday night, buried in the snow. They used their equipment to shelter themselves, fighting to stay warm while waiting for help. But here's the twist. Those survivors had to locate 3 of their own companions who had already died. The mission has now shifted from rescue to recovery. Nevada County Sheriff Shannon Moon described the conditions as extreme, an understatement. She said there were gale force winds and so much snow it was impossible to see. The skiers were on their way back to camp when the avalanche hit. It took search and rescue crews hours just to find those first few survivors. And then something shocking happened. Authorities confirmed the grim total: 8 found dead, 1 still missing. This avalanche is now the deadliest in the U.S. since 1981, when 11 climbers were killed on Mount Rainier in Washington. That's a 45-year record shattered in a single, tragic event. But here's what nobody's talking about. The vast majority of these rescue crews are volunteers. Dan O'Keefe, the chief of law enforcement at the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, said these individuals often buy their own equipment and train on their own time. They put a huge personal investment into this dangerous work. Heavy snow and the constant threat of additional avalanches dramatically slowed the rescue effort, putting these volunteers at immense risk. The area near Donner Summit is one of the snowiest places in the entire Western Hemisphere. It was closed to the public for nearly a century until just a few years ago. The group, which included 4 professional guides from Blackbird Mountain Guides, was returning to the trailhead when the avalanche occurred. The company notified authorities and is assisting in the ongoing search. In a statement, Blackbird said their thoughts are with the missing individuals, their families, and the first responders in the field. The implications here are chilling. This tragedy highlights the raw, unpredictable power of nature in some of our most beautiful wilderness areas. It raises urgent questions about backcountry safety during extreme weather events. Some will say the group was experienced and prepared. Others will question the decision to trek during a pummeling winter storm. The controversy is already brewing. Were the risks understood, or was this a fatal miscalculation? The bigger picture is a stark reminder. Even with guides and gear, the mountains demand respect. This event will undoubtedly trigger a national conversation about avalanche preparedness and the limits of backcountry recreation. But the most haunting question remains: will the final missing skier be found? The recovery operation continues under perilous conditions. This story is far from over. We started with 8 dead and 1 missing. Now you know the desperate fight for survival, the heroic volunteers, and the historic scale of this disaster. This is the deadliest avalanche in America in 45 years. What do you think? Should there be stricter limits on backcountry access during severe weather warnings, or does the responsibility lie solely with experienced adventurers? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe for more critical breaking news updates.